As someone who's ignorant for a VTuber, does being part of a company like Vtuber offer significant advantages, especially for the most established ones? Yeah, I'll tell you what these companies all say they do. Whether or not you utilize them or not is up to you. But here's what a lot of the companies say they do. So they sign stuff for you, right? You give them ability to legally sign for you. So you don't have to sign your own name on like every sponsor contract that comes your way or like things like that. So that's the most, in my opinion, the most important, the most useful. Number two, transferring of funds. Again, if a sponsor wants to pay you, where do they pay you? Some of them might not do PayPal. They might be like, no, you have to give us like an account, like a bank account to send money straight to. And then what do? Give them your like your bank account number, you know, like you could have one set up as a business. Yes. But like, you know, there are a lot of things going on there and a lot of people just don't want to give that information for like a wire transfer or anything. So instead, if you have one of those companies, they accept it, split out anything that needs to be split if it does, and then just send it back to you. So they're the only ones holding that stuff, right? So that is also a really, really helpful thing for privacy. And then on top of that, then the other stuff that a lot of them start offering that you don't have to take advantage of is like for the sponsors, they'll go and talk to the sponsors. You could give them access to a business email where they can get forwarded stuff and then they can answer emails for you. They could check your email for you. So they check in all the inbound offers that you get. Then they could also do outbound. Maybe they have a relationship with a representative from a game company. And when they know they have a game coming out, they check in with them. Maybe they check in monthly and they're like, what do you have? I have these talents. They would like to do stuff with you if something's coming up. That's outbound, right? Where you reach out to the companies. You can have these agencies do that for you. Like check your email for inbound stuff and do outbound stuff for you to get sponsors and deals or whatever. Then there's merch. I want to do a makeshift plushie. Okay. You have that company reach out for you. And the advantage of having like a representative or company reach out for you is a lot of time when they represent a bunch of talent, they already have relationships with these people. They've already done a makeshift plushie for someone else. So they just DM that one guy that they know and they're like, hey, I have another one. They've already worked together, right? Like things go more smoothly and quickly when it's a bunch of people that have already worked together, continuing to work together. Whereas if you as an individual are trying to talk to everyone and work with them, whatever, you're like establishing new relationships over and over and over. And it just is really tiring and really time consuming. It's so time consuming. So having an agency that has a lot of people that are already a bit deeper in the industry, they already know folks, they've already worked with a lot of them. It makes a lot of that just go more fast and smooth. And you know, there you go. Those are like some of the major advantages, right? It's just handling a lot of that back end stuff as people who like are already used to doing that. Because think if you had to do all that stuff yourself, you still have to stream. And if you don't do super long streams, you do like 5-hour streams 5 days a week. And then you spend 3 hours doing all the business stuff. You're doing meetings, you're doing calls, intro calls with people. You're talking about this, talking about that. You're working normal full-time hours at that point. And there's still so much more to do. What about all your side content? What about YouTube? What about blah, blah, blah? You know, like there's all this other So it's really nice to have other people handle that for you. And it's very worth to give them like a little cut, right? Usually they take a little cut of stuff that they get for you. Let's say like they facilitated you getting a sponsorship. You take the sponsorship money and you give them a little bit of it. And you're like, because you found this and you did all the communications on it, whatever, you get a portion of it. So they're incentivized to keep finding you stuff. You have a way to pay them that isn't you paying them up front. It's paying them out of what they get for you. So it's like results based. It's nice. It's a nice arrangement. So that's what a lot of people do. And yeah, it ends up being like a really nice kind of win-win scenario for everyone and saves a lot of people time. They get money for doing their work and then they handle a bunch of talents. So they end up being able to maybe make enough to make it make sense. They don't really make that much money to like have a lot of staff on, but it's enough. You don't need a lot of people to do this sort of thing. And yeah, it just functions. It just functions. So those are like the things that these agencies do that are like really valuable. Then you have the full corpo experience where they start to add more staff in and they start to offer more management. So they sit there and do like every little thing they can get involved in if you want. So I could ping my manager and I could be like, I want a new background. Go find me artists. Go spend the time of scrolling through Twitter, looking at other people's credits and stuff, finding artists for backgrounds, put them into curated list and show them to me, right? Like that's where the bigger, more involved management starts to come in, is all those little tasks like that you would normally sit there and do yourself, you can have them do. And I'm just giving one little example, but like every little thing is time consuming and they can do those really time consuming tasks for you and just water everything down to you just have to sit there and make decisions, right? So you show up to your meeting and they're like, here's all the stuff I found for you. Here's all the things you could do. Here are all the sponsors that your sponsor guy was talking about. Here's the status of all your merch things. And you just go all over it in like one weekly stand-up or however you do it. And you make all the decisions. You say, do this, do that. And then they leave and they take all that time off of your hands, and they do all the time consuming stuff for the rest of the week. You know, that's what like the more involved corpo experience is. It's really about saving you time. That's where you have to really consider if these people are actually doing a lot for you or not, if you want to do it yourself or not. I think there are times where I absolutely utilized people for certain things, and other things I was like, I'm just gonna do this. Don't worry, I got it. It's faster, easier for me if I just do it, right? That's where you have to really consider, you know, what you care about. So is that the step where the bloat tends to creep into the company? Yeah, a lot of the time, you know how it goes. You get more and more people standing there going, everyone's doing what they should be. I will collect my money now for telling them that they're doing great, right? That's where the bloat comes in. Sometimes it depends. There are also people who are in these companies that are like, it's not really bloat. Some of them are actually like really good with strategy. So sometimes it works out like that. So I imagine until you're ridiculously big, management would need to run a really tight ship in order to actually have it make financial sense. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the person. I like having a couple of people besides myself working on stuff, and I like them to wear a lot of hats and all be involved in each other's and be sitting there talking with each other a lot and all of that. So people like something that's more segmented, more compartmentalized, and they like more people that work fewer hours but do specific things. I prefer a team of like 2 more of me, 3 more of me, you know? Just that's what I work best in. So like I always talk about Bark, my editor, right? He's not just my editor though. He like handles a whole bunch with media outside of just that. If I'm like, I don't know how I want to word this tweet, I can go to him and be like, what do you think about this tweet, dog? You know, and like he'll gladly get involved in like every little thing if I ask. When I have a debut coming up, I was like, yeah, I need to make a credit slide. And he was like, I'll make the credit slide, right? Like he's someone who just steps in and he has his main functions, but he just does whatever on top of that to help out. And I'm just like, yo, bill me for the hours you use. If I need a thing and you did it and you spent an hour to do it, you bill me for it, done. Right? There you go. And, you know, it works out well. So I have a couple people like that, you know, they just do their I have a couple different sources I get sponsorships from, and that's really simple too. It's like, if I facilitate one myself, then I just do it. If someone else comes to me with one, I give them a little bit of it. Here's your finder's fee or more if they do a lot of work on it for some reason, you know, then maybe they get something else, and there you go. You know, he made the announcements, trailers, and ads videos on Twitter. He's great. Yeah, so like he doesn't just sit there and wait for me to like hand him a thing and go make this. He sits there and actively says, we should do this, we should do that. He'll talk to someone else who's getting a little ad that we need to do. They get a sponsor saying, hey, you need to do this ad on this YouTube video. Them two talk. He comes up with the idea, and then he writes up like, maybe it should be like this. Here are the bullet points. Do you like this? And then I take it and then I finish up scripting for it, and then I record it, right? Like we all just kind of collaboratively work, and it's nice. I don't know. I've spent like a long time kind of trying to get that to come together, and it has, and you know, I'm chilling. He said, do you think you could work with a team of GEEGA clones? That would be ideal if I could clone myself. God, I wish. I could have one of myself who only cared about YouTube, and then one of myself that only cares about streaming, then one of myself that only cares about administrative work. I wouldn't need anything else. I wouldn't need a damn thing.